Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of the BizBlend podcast, where we blend bold ideas, brilliant minds, and also actionable strategies for you to fuel your business and also personal growth. Well, I'm your host, Sana, and in this episode, we are diving deep into something that every woman in leadership, entrepreneurship, or a corporate space needs but often struggles with: visibility. Now, we have all heard it before. In fact, I have heard it before that it's not just what you know, it's who knows you. But what happens, listeners, and especially to all the women out there, when you know your stuff, yet you still feel overlooked in the boardroom or in the client meetings or pitches or even in your own business? That's a hard question. But to help us unravel the answers to all these questions, I have a guest who is here to flip that narrative. Listeners, meet Dawn Stebbing. She is a voice and visibility strategist and also the creator of the Visibility Code, helping high achieving women to go from being overlooked to becoming unforgettable. With decades of experience in sales, leadership, and image consulting, Dawn empowers women to align their presence, their voice, and confidence so they lead and sell with impact without ever compromising who they are. And she has been through the unraveling her selflessness, losing her title, her team, her identity, and then rebuilding from the inside out. And now she teaches women how to own the room, but authentically, and make sure they aren't just seen, but they are remembered. So if you're ready to shift from playing small to playing seen and chosen, this conversation is for you. So, with that, Dawn, welcome to the show. And it is really, really such an honor to have you with us.
Oh, it's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Ah, okay. So, Dawn, first of all, the visibility code, it is such an inquisitive, very, very, very interesting term there. So if we can break that down for us, and also what are the key components that every woman, whether she's an entrepreneur or a leader or a manager or someone in the corporate setting, she needs to know.
Sure. Well, first of all, the visibility code comes from a lot of things that have happened in my background and being invisible to becoming visible. I hear this all the time. Women are always overlooked, and I want to help them become unforgettable. Get rid of that overlooked, overpowered, and become unforgettable. The visibility code came out of a lot of watching other women, where women either shrink in confidence. They're not confident in their voice, they're not confident in their message. They're not confident in what they say in the boardroom, or they're not confident talking in a networking group for that matter. And what I do is I help them with that by actually bringing up and showing them and teaching them what they're doing incorrectly to help them do it more boldly and correctly, but in a way that resonates with who they are and not who I want them to be. It's standing in their own power. So it's practicing unshakable confidence, creating a cohesive presence, and mastering relationship-based selling. And that's my visibility code.
Absolutely. And I have something to share on this. So yes, I mean there are conversations, even enterprises in the entrepreneur circle, business circles, people are addressing this, but somewhere down the line, the definition or the contribution of women in entrepreneurship or in business or in the workspace has been kind of more than obvious, because we don't want to get listened just because we are women, but we are equal I mean, just treat us as someone who is coming from that, background with those skills and capability that we can add, expertise. We can share our experiences, our insights into this, and we are equally capable of contributing into that. And don't you think that, Dawn, or is it something else?
No, I agree. I agree 100%. I worked with many women
Mm,
that have had, been overlooked in the years. And some of it, my background is also in image consulting. So some of it, most women would come to me first
mm.
to get that taken care of. Like there's something wrong on the outside. And
Right.
as I, go through my career, I know there's so much more to a woman than just putting clothes on a person's body. And that
Yeah.
is a quick fix, don't get me wrong. That is a quick fix and it does help with confidence. However, if you can't walk out the door and feel it and stand in it and own it, it
Yes.
doesn't matter if you have good clothes on or not. You've got to believe it. You've got to step into it.
Yeah.
And that's where I come in is to help you do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. So talking about a bit of a personal that you lost everything like title, team, income, identity. If we can share maybe a bit of that, those moments. I mean, how did that experience shape your approach to visibility and leadership today?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Well, that was back in 2006 when I had built everything I just dreamt about having, building my team, my organization. I've
Yeah.
earned the title, earned the income, earned the car. Everything was going great, and then all of a sudden one day everything just fell apart and I lost it all. And I had to step back and I had to take a good look at why this was happening. And it was hard to see it at the time, but I worked through it. But what happened was is I was living in someone else's identity of me instead of my own identity. I lost my identity through this whole thing because they were molding me into something they wanted me to be, and I was following in their footsteps thinking they had my best interest. And here all along, my whole identity changed into somebody else. Didn't even realize it because you don't know what you don't know until somebody on the outside says something to you. And I had a wake up call when I had reached out to a friend and asked her, what, why is my team just not working anymore? It just seems like everything's falling apart. And she says, Dawn,
Mhm.
you're not the same person you were 3 years ago when I met you. And I go, what are you talking about? She said, you're turning into this other person. And I'll just keep names out of it. And I said, and it hit me so hard in my heart. It felt like she just stabbed me with a dagger. And I was so devastated. And I thought, I had no idea. I had no idea I was doing that. And then my wake up, that was my wake up call. I needed to step into my own identity. I had to understand my worth and my value in order to move forward. I either could stay there and be a victim, or I can push forward and become my true authentic self. And I know you're going to hear this more and more, and we have heard it more and more in today's society is authenticity is a big word today. Being
Yep.
authentic because people want to know if you're real. They want to know if you've ever had a problem. They want to know everything about you. And I fought that for a little bit because I'm thinking, why does anybody care? However, we're we come from this society of fake it till you make it. There's no
Yeah.
that. People can read right through you. And we wanna know that you're genuine, you have our backs, and you really do care about me. And when you can show that piece, that goes a long ways because trust is huge today. We wanna know, like, and trust you. And I'll be danged if I ever wanna go back in that place where I was in 2006 ever again. So I had to learn different skills and build up my confidence level again. Work on my presence. How do I appear in front of people? And also master, how do I sell to people? I don't sell for the money. I sell for helping them solve a problem. And if I can solve their problem, then I have something for you. So it's working through those in a way and getting women to understand it, whether it's a product or if it's a service. It doesn't matter what you're selling. You want to sell from the heart and you want to sell with compassion. You also want to sell from your from a place of serving and not just about the money. Oh, I have this product and you need this. No, not everybody needs your product. Not everybody needs your services. So when you think about it in those terms, you've got to weed, you've also got to understand who your target audience is because not everybody is going to be a good fit for you. And that's something that's hard for a lot of women to understand. And I hear this still today. Who do you serve? Well, anyone that has this or anyone that can, anyone, the word anyone or everyone should be out of your vocabulary. So take that out of your vocabulary and get very clear on who that target audience is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as you mentioned about authenticity and especially in this digital age, um, specifically for high achieving women who know they have value, but they kind of struggle to articulate it in a way that resonates because there's so much judgment, and then there's
Mhm.
fear of showing yourself too much approachable or vulnerable or gullible, could be digitally or could be
Mhm.
physically, in a workspace. So how exactly do you guide um you know women to take that first step to align their voice, message, and their presence authentically yet mindfully?
Mhm. That's a powerful question. That's very powerful. Thank you
Because
for
personally, I've
asking that
struggled
question.
with that. Yeah, personally, I've
Pardon me?
struggled. So personally, I've struggled with that. That's why instantly, it like hit within me that how do I do that? Okay, okay to open, but what if I have that fear of getting judged too quickly? That you
Yes.
are at fault. It was your mistake. Don't just yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Um, Beautiful, beautiful question. What I would say, and this is because I've had to do this myself, so it's gradual. It's not going to happen overnight. First of all, you want to get clear on who you are and how do you want to be perceived, offline or online. That means digital or in person. And once you're clear about who that is, and you know from the bottom of your heart, this is who you are, and your values are huge to you, and you follow your values, and this is something we forget. We'll always, I remember years ago
Mhm.
when I was applying for jobs and companies and things like that, I never thought about values. I never thought about my values at that time. I just needed the money. I went to get a job. I'll go work for this company. Yeah, I can work through this, right? Today, I want to really stress that you have to think of your values and what are they, and don't compromise them. And once you have that clear, then you can and not tiptoe, but you can gradually like drop seeds of of vulnerability, honesty, such as you could start with a pet that you have. You can start with saying something such as, well, I have a pet, so I'll use that for an example. I have a little Shih Tzu dog. And I got online one time and I said something about this is my work partner, and I've got a lot of people that love that stuff. They eat that stuff up. Like, you're showing a piece of you in this, It's not
Mhm.
just about you, it's about, "This is my life. I have a Shih Tzu. I have a husband." You can share things about your children or grandchildren or significant others if you choose, but dropping little seeds. Like, it was really hard for me to talk about what I went through in 2006. That was painful for me, and it took me a long time because I was embarrassed. I felt like I had imposter syndrome. I had all of these things going on that everybody goes through. And now I live through it. I can teach this and help people walk through this gently. And it's not about get out there and show them the whole part of you. And if you're that type of a person, that's great because there are going to be people that love that. But most people don't like to share all that up front because they don't.
Mhm.
In my era, it wasn't something I didn't grow up in the digital world. So that was very challenging for me to get out online and start verbalizing things. And sometimes it's very hard for people to get online or even speak into a microphone because they don't like their voice. Well,
Yeah.
nobody likes their voice at first because they never can hear themselves talk. They can only hear what comes out. But once you hear it back or echoing, then they go, "Oh, I don't like my voice. I don't like the way I sound." Well, that's workable, and it's also it's repetition, and that's where confidence comes in, is repetition, 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 doing it over and over and over again that builds your confidence. I use this analogy of riding a bike. The first time you ever got on a bike, did you fall
Mm.
down? Yes. Did you smash your trike into a wall? Probably, yes. Did you skin your knee? Yes, but you got back up on that bike again, and you
Yep.
kept going, right?
Yep.
And that's the whole thing, is keep going. And you know what? We're always going to have somebody that doesn't resonate with us. And this is the biggest tip I ever got, was not everybody will like you.
Mhm.
Neither you will like everybody. And if
Yes.
you can remember that, that's okay, because there's millions and millions of people in this world. You will connect with the right people. You have to get clear on who you are and how you want to show up and how do you want to be perceived. And being visible. The more visible you are, the more people can see you, hear you, like you, and join you in your business.
That is really well put. Ah, great, great. And Dawn, as we talked about, especially the digital part, um, in a world where personal branding, as you mentioned about fake it till you make it, but people they can read through. You know, personal branding, it can often be misunderstood as like putting on a mask. So
Mhm.
how do you help? I mean, any practices or any approach which you help women with, which can help them show up without faking it or fitting into someone else's mold, or some kind of template that is quite like trending or people are liking it.
Yes. Yes. That I think that in this digital age, we always are trying to keep up with the Kardashians. Stop it. They have millions and millions and millions of dollars that you cannot possibly keep up with them. And stop it, stop it, stop it.
Yeah.
You have to own who you are. And in the digital world, stop chasing what everybody else is doing and start being you. Start being your authentic, true you. Stop trying to emulate or follow or pretend you're somebody else. Again, that's what happened to me. I didn't even realize that was happening to me. I was following a leader that I thought she had my back, and I didn't know I was emulating her. I was just trying to be the best person I could be, until somebody made me realize that I was turning into her, and she wasn't a nice person. She
Mhm.
was more of a fake than she was real. And
Mm.
I knew my intuition told me something was off, but I was kind of in a situation where you never talk down about a person, you always talk
Yes.
up about a person,
Mm.
and I it I learned a life lesson there. I really truly do. So if I can just give you some tips on learning the life lesson now before you go through something horrible like I did, it is just step into your true you. And if something doesn't feel right, don't do it. Don't follow
Mm.
it. Your intuition is the strongest thing you have. And if you don't listen to it, you're always going to do the opposite. Such as, let's say, you wanna get married and nobody else likes this other person, and you go, "I don't care, I'm gonna marry this person anyway," right? And then you're
Mhm.
gonna do the opposite, then you find out you marry them, and a couple years down the line, you're not with that person anymore. In reality, you knew you probably shouldn't have married this person, but you're doing it out of spite. Don't do
Yeah.
things out of spite. Do it listen and another thing, your elders are usually right because they live the life. I hate
Mm.
to say that, but they truly are. It's hard to tell somebody
Exactly.
20, 30 years old about that, but it
Mm.
is so true. It is so true.
I learned it the hard way. Personally, I learned
Yes.
it.
Yeah, it truly but and let's put some perspective on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of us learn the hard way, and why do we do that? It's a lesson to be learned. You'll never do it again. So
Very.
it's almost like you do things just like dip your toe in the water to see what'll
Mhm.
happen. And then if nothing happens, you're gonna do something else. Then something happens, you're gonna go, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that."
Um,
But if you don't do it, you'll never know too. Because I know that's, how we live. It's like, if I don't try this, I'll never know. It's the unknown. But then when you do it the hard way, you get stuck in a situation it's harder to get out of than it is if you would just listen to your intuition to begin with.
Absolutely. That's really powerful. And of course, I think another very brilliant point which you mentioned is, learning from or listening to what our elders are saying, because irrespective of the um, tech transformations or the updated thought process we all have, the basics remain the same through generations, through ages. uh, Good and bad cannot be defined differently, in every different civilization. It is same, it can be interpreted maybe differently according to situation, according to the people, but the basics remain the same. So yeah, that's a very important
Yes.
point you.
It is true. Definitely.
Okay, so before we wrap up, so for our listeners, especially all the women out there, high achieving women who are ambitious, they want to create something of their own, who may feel like they are constantly overlooked or they're not heard in meetings or pitches or in discussions. What's one tangible action, Dawn, they can take today itself or maybe this week to become more visible, create a long lasting impact, and be unforgettable?
Yeah. Oh, great question. One, acknowledge that this is happening to you. First of all, acknowledge it's happening to you. Second of all, take a deep breath and reach out and get some help because you can't see what other people can see. And what I mean by help, reach out to a colleague, a friend, a coach like me. Reach out because we can see what's happening on the outside that you can't see. Just as I had that friend tell me that I was turning into someone else. It might
Mm.
sting a little bit, but you know what? If you're ready to go to the next level in your career and get past all this being overlooked stuff and become unforgettable, you want to make a move now. Don't wait because there is somebody out there that can help you. get past this. Show up authentically as you. Again, there's another piece to this too. If your appearance is off in any way, that's going to deter how you show up. Your
Mhm.
confidence level, if you don't feel good in what you're wearing, your confidence level isn't going to feel good either.
Mm.
You want to be confident. You don't want to be pulling on your clothes. You don't want to look, you want to look like you're supposed to look when you walk into meetings and networking events. And if you don't have any idea, I can help you with that, but
Of course.
acknowledge it. Hmm.
Abs- Absolutely. So, if our listeners would like to take your help, connect with you, Dawn, what's the best way?
They can reach out to me via email, Dawn, it's DAWN, at Dawn Stebbing, STEBBING.com. And if you want to go to my website, it's dawnstebbing.com. And you can find me either place to check me out.
Hmm. Great, great, Dawn. I'll have all the links mentioned in the show notes. And I mean, what a powerful conversation, Dawn. I mean, this was really, really personally so much of learning experience, and I'm very sure for listeners as well. So thank you so much through for this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
And listeners, I hope you got some golden nuggets to take away from Dawn's journey, her experiences, her insights. And this conversation might be that wake up call for all of you to first acknowledge it and then start implementing the insights Dawn shared with us. And to further connect with her, just refer to the show notes along with this episode. And with that, this is your host, Sana, signing off from BizBlend. Keep blending business with passion. Thank you.